only political prisoner. There's still other political prisoners. People who are more familiar with the Water Protectors movement might be able to tell you the names of the people who are still incarcerated. I know ᴑᴏᴡᴜᴜ was just recently released. She served 3 years in prison for a crime she never committed. She was framed by the FBI. Infiltrators came into our camp and framed her, planted a gun on her. They sent a man to seduce her. He used his guiles to plant a gun on her, and she spent time in jail for a crime she never committed. So, you know, I tell people this all the time, keep your core group tight, because you never know. So they could send, there's probably a federal operative right in here somewhere right now. For sure. You know who you are, and none of us are your friend. We all hate you.
Is it this guy? I think it's this. No, I'm kidding. Is it this guy? Thank you, Dee, for posting that. See if we have some other speakers here today.
Can you hear me all right? Hello? I hope you got this.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, all of you beautiful and wonderful people. I see you all tonight, and I honor you all for standing here with each other. You are all amazing. You are all some really badass warriors. I see it in your eyes. I see it. I see it. Come on, guys, need some weird laughter. Through laughter. We heal together, telling jokes, making fun of each other, teasing each other. It's all awesome to see you. Let's heal together. So I have a poem that I've written, and it's about many things. And if it happens to offend you, your colonizer is showing.
Heyo.
So, hold on, let me get it up today. Hello everyone, my name is Isha. I already told you that. You can call me E. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm 17 years old, and I represent ᴅᴏ Nations Academy in Portland State University as a 2020-2021 Miss Naimuma. So I might be royalty, but I'm a protester. I'm a protector. I'm a motherfucking warrior. This poem is called Endless Brown. Endless brown, and her eyes are as deep and brown as the Willamette River. You can see the grief, pain, sadness, happiness, and sorrow spin in her eyes like the currents, twisting and turning in a never-ending loop. You can see the strength of the stream of resilience as she looks at her traumas in her face. She fights the black snake, the greedy monster, the selfish paleface, with peace and education. She fights when she is forced to. If you look closely, you will see the anger in her eyes and the prayers of thousands of ancestors who stand behind her in the endless brown of her eyes. This is for the endless sea of little brown girls, for the little black girls, for all the little girls who are forced to grow up and be adults by the time you are 12, raising kids, cleaning house, and sacrificing everything for a way out. This is for the endless brown of my homeland. My people stand on the front lines, standing tall. Rings of age and wisdom are easily shown on the elders' faces. They stand like the trunk of a tree. Their wisdom is passed down from generation to generation, breathed out in a quiet breath. As for in their time, it wasn't okay for them to have this knowledge. Their whispers, their laughs, their memories stay in my mind as I look in the crowd and don't see them anymore. Their tall trees are cut down, but their knowledge and wisdom still stay strong in that trunk of the tree. The roots of their knowledge still alive. Let the hope and the resilience keep that tree strong. I see this world through my endless brown eyes. My copper red skin only darkens in the summer. My brown hair and brown eyes look more intimidating then. I remember sitting at the lunch table holding my school lunch as all the pretty white girls scooted over with their homemade lunches and their nice water bottles, anywhere set. I laugh and joke with the boys as I feel too afraid if I tease and make fun of them as the perfect white girls whose parents take them to school every day or on their nice bikes or cars, feelings I might hurt, or saying something irrelevant or too mean about who I am. They look at me and they make an image of someone who's bigger, meaner, and afraid, and who's afraid they might hurt them. This is the image that they gave me, a little copper red skinned girl whose braids were messy and wore nothing but basketball shorts and oversized t-shirts. They gave me an image of a mean Indian monster who isn't like them, perfect white, and comes from a perfectly white family. I come from a reservation from a small town of endless brown and red-skinned people where we fight every single day. Endless brown, the dirt shifts under my ripped up Vans and lava rocks rattling against my foot as I walk. The water is clear, the air is fresh. How long are we gonna have that? I look around, the scenery is nothing but endless brown tall pine trees that touch the sky, mountains that have shaped our way of life, and our stronghold where the Modoc people fought. I lay in the water. My dark little brown cousins play in the sand, hunting little down little frogs, shooting them with BB guns, enjoying their luckiness to be here in our homelands. I smile and I laugh as the adults refuse to put their toes into the freezing water, but as kids are swimming amongst the fish, some dive off the dock, some wade into the freezing water, but I lay perfectly still in the smooth waves of Medicine Lake. Oh yeah.
There's an indigenous you speaking. Can you be quiet, please?
First of all, this is our land.
Thank you.
Get going. Come on. Want to talk shit? Remember whose land you're on. Hashtag land back, motherfucker. Sorry.
Don't apologize.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm on my land, motherfucker. You get going. This is where I was put to protect with all these beautiful people. So fuck off.
She read it.
Where am I now? Hold on. Hold on. Endless brown. I sit in the middle of endless faces next to one of the strongest women I know. She fights for equal rights. She fights for MMIW. She fights just to fight. She is stubborn, she is loving, and she's one hell of a warrior. And I look up to you, Simona. Hearing your story, we sat in the middle of a big crowd of white faces. I listened to every word from you, and I honor you tonight. I thank you tonight. You inspired me to be a strong, hard-headed, and to fight in the most graceful but badass way ever. I look up to you, and I see nothing but endless love and respect. In the sea of young faces, I see you all. We are the answers to our ancestors' prayers. I see you and I honor you. We have a bright but bumpy future in front of us. We will continue this fight in a good way. Walk, talk, and learn the ways our ancestors have. We will teach, speak out, and have no fear. When they continue to oppress us, we will link arm to arm and fight against them. This is our way. This is our time, and this is our way of healing. I see you young adults, and I am excited for you. I honor you, and I want to fight with you. Not fight you, but fight alongside you. Oh, let's go then.
Yes.
I want to fight with you. Us youth have to stick together before this world crumbles in front of us. We have to stick together so that when our elders go to continue their journey, that they know that the world is safe in our hands. As we were taking care of as children, we will take care of Mother Earth. And when we fight for our Mother Earth, the oppressors and the faces of greed will see our endless sea of faces who are painted with strength and resilience. So to all of you youth and future generations, I honor you. I love you. You are strong, you are loved, and you are important and worthy of every praise. To the endless tears of our ancestors, whose tears run like a river, I honor you tonight for your strength and for the resilience that you have passed down to us, who all stand here, fighting and protecting the water in Mother Earth. Tonight we pray, stand, fight, and heal together. We honor who have all sacrificed so much to be at Standing Rock. We stand and we fight in a good way, in a way to make you proud. To the endless sea of faces here tonight, I honor you. Let's march and fight in the best that we can and honor the land and the water. This is our way. Walk in this world in a good way, a good and gentle way. Talk and speak kindly to others. Protect and praise one another. We all walk a difficult path. Love one another. Remember to wear your damn mask and social distance for our elders and for ourselves. Have a good night, everyone. And remember, hashtag land back, hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag no more stolen sisters, hashtag save our children, and hashtag abolish ICE, and hashtag fuck DAPL.
Yeah, Roman, chill, bro. cut it out. Like, if you want to watch, cool, but just cut it out with your comments. Thank you.
Hello. My name is ᴄᴏᴜ Charger, Star Woman ᴅᴏᴜᴡᴜ from the ᴍᴏᴜᴜᴜ Reservation. And I would like to say something that I wrote a part of Standing Rock, because I am part of the International Indigenous Youth Council that was started in Standing Rock and stuff. So if you guys can bear with me, I would like to read something I did with, 3 years ago and stuff. So let me sit down. So this piece that I created is called Everything Will Be Okay. Controversial times and high-stress topics can often cause us to feel things that are out of our control. Even when the bad vibes and negative influences cross our path, remember everything will be okay. We might not see it in this moment. We cannot give up or allow our time to be stopped. We cannot change what has already been done. All we can do is remember and ensure it does not happen again. Because the reality is, control is simply an aspect of the mind, something we can imagine one has over themselves or others. For example, our bodies breathe air and pump blood subconsciously. Yes, our brain sends signals to our lungs and heart to make them pump. But it's not a conscious decision that our body makes. Same with life. Bad things happen, we make mistakes, we all fall down, we all get hurt, but we must always take a breath and get back up and fight even stronger than before. You have to be strong. You have to be strong-willed, and you have to be resilient, just like our bodies will to keep its heart and lungs pumping. Knowledge comes from the mind, passion comes from the heart, endurance comes from the body. The soul is what brings the three together and allows them to flourish. We must learn that these things they'll not always be perfect. But that's the beauty of it. We are all perfect. We all could be the same, but it's what our flaws is what makes us unique. They are what makes us beautiful. It's how we treat ourselves, our mind, body, and spirit, and the world around us. That's what matters. I believe our thoughts are the gateway to our true happiness, for everything is possible. If one is willing to make that change, the path will be full of hardship and tests of the mind, the body, and the soul. Well, plus the spirit. We must plant these seeds of our dreams, but like a flower needs nourishment from the mind, the warmth of the sunlight of our hearts, and the safe room to grow within ourselves. Sometimes we must take that step to break back from the comfort of ourselves, not to run away from our problems, but to take that second breath and remind ourselves where we come from. We are where we want to be. Sometimes it's these imperfect things that keep us grounded. It reminds us that we are human and we cannot always have control. But take the time and listen, not just with your ears, but with your hearts, but with your minds and your souls. I cannot stress the importance of breathing. Take in the positive energy and exhale the stress, the anxiety, the anger, and the depression, what comes along with being who we are. Allowing ourselves to love itself, for this world needs love now more than ever. Become the love and the hope. Become that strength, that endurance. For no matter how we feel, we are never truly at a loss. Life forces us to dig deep within the earth so our roots can spread and strengthen us. To make room for the light and the balance the dark can never give. Never stop trying, because if you try at life, you'll never know what life is. Yes, it might feel like the winter breeze as you pray for the summer spring to wash away the old and replenish the new. But just like the winter breeze, it brings hardship. It brings acknowledgement to who we really are and how far we can really go. You remember that water is important. It brings life. It brings hope on this journey that we live. It can carve through stone. It can bring tidal waves. It can heal itself. Water is the most important thing of all. It is the giver of life. So let it birth love and light, because sometimes the darkness cannot do that. So love and light must prevail, because we are human beings. And this is what conquers the darkness. Love must come from within, so next time you fall, next time you stumble, next time you feel like nothing is left, just turn over and look at the stars. Remember where you come from, because the stars will guide us back to our way, back to our path, where we need to be. Pray that the water, and pray with the water. Be the water. Remember, we love you, I love you, and we're here together. ᴅᴏᴏᴡᴏ. This is something I made 3 years ago. ᴜᴏᴏᴏᴏ. This is all I have to say.
Okay, I don't think we have any more speakers. Do we? We don't have any more speakers, do we, guys? Indigenous Block, anybody?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch out there.
Woo!
Come on, somebody.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah.
ᴑᴏᴏ tocar. I'm not gonna talk too much. I wasn't able to make it to Standing Rock because when that was happening, I was in and out of the hospital, and still a teenager. Couldn't convince my parents to let me go to South Dakota to fight the government. But I have fought to protect water. A couple of years ago, some folks and I occupied the Washington state capitol up in Olympia, demanding that Jay Inslee stopped all oil constructions that come with these pipelines. Not just them poisoning drinks. You'll hear a lot of indigenous people say that man camps, and what we mean by that is when these invaders come to indigenous lands for their projects, whether that's a pipeline or whether they're mining for natural resources or they're building a museum or whatever on stolen land, they bring all these construction workers and all these pipeline workers who most of the time are cis men, which most of the time turn out to be abusers and really shitty people. And we call those man camps because they have to go and they stay there, and they build these camps for the workers to stay in. And the workers know that because they're on tribal lands, because they're on reservations, a lot of federal laws don't necessarily, a lot of like state laws, and I'm pretty sure federal laws don't apply to reservations. So people in these man camps know that they can commit horrific crimes and get away with it. And so a pattern that we see is wherever these pipelines go, wherever these man camps go, the rise of missing and murdered indigenous women, trans, non-binary people, girls, children, the numbers of missing and murdered indigenous people go up wherever these pipeline projects are. And that's because of these man camps. So not only are these pipelines poisoning our waters, but the people who are coming to build these pipelines to poison our waters are also kidnapping people. They are sexually assaulting people. They are murdering people in horrific ways. A lot of people's family members and loved ones who have gone missing, who have been found dead, are not found in one piece, are usually found with their clothes ripped off, their hair cut off. It's horrible. And that type of violence goes where these pipelines go. My family's town, the area that my family is indigenous to, down in like central southern Mexico, we don't have clean water anymore. We used to have a river that my dad told me stories about. He used to go swimming in there. He used to fish.
They used to shower in that water, play in it. There was also like underground rivers that they would get drinking water from. But that doesn't exist anymore, and there's no clean drinking water, and my family has to drive to a different town to pick up gallons of drinking water to bring back. And when I asked why, I thought maybe global warming or something, but that happened so fast. I mean, just from my dad's childhood to like me, that's only like 25 years. Like that happened fast for a whole river to dry up, multiple rivers to dry up. And what happened is the corporations, usually United States corporations, come down to Mexico because it's cheaper for them, and they come and they drain up all our water. And that's exactly what happened to my family's hometown. So we don't have clean water anymore because of corporations, and a lot of towns in Mexico are like that. And now that Mexico is becoming all dried up, the United States is poisoning their own water. You guys, we need to stop these pipelines at all costs. I don't want to march for this anymore. I don't want to speak on this anymore. I don't want to yell that water is life. Like, we really have to remind people that water is life. I'm tired of this, and I'm so young, and our elders have been fighting for this for much longer than we have. Like, we can't keep marching for this. It's time for direct action. It's time for direct action. And if somebody has to talk shit on direct action, remind them what Standing Rock was. Standing Rock is direct action. When you go and you build a blockade to literally stop these pipelines from being built, that is direct action. When you go and you fuck up all their equipment so they can't build the pipeline, that is direct action. That is what we need. Okay, I want to remind you guys, we are in a climate crisis. We are in a water crisis. We are in a food crisis. We are in a pandemic. We don't have time to keep marching anymore. It's time for direct action. And I know DAPL is far away from here. But I do want to remind you guys, there is a pipeline factory here. I'm just saying, there is a lot of Chase banks around here that are funding these pipelines. There is a lot of Amazon offices and an Amazon warehouse that I know is probably funding these pipelines. They're funding everything. Like, I would like to become an elder one day. And I don't know if that's going to happen with the route that we're going in this climate crisis. So I'm sure there's been many call-outs for direct actions, but I really want to instill in this and you guys, direct action is needed. I need you guys to step up. I know there's pipelines on this side of the states as well. They're all over. It's time to take action. It's time to literally save humanity. Water is life. And it's time to respect that. One more thing I want to say, to go back on the prayer aspect, something that I learned from Grandma Aggie. I feel really blessed to have been in her presence, to have heard her teachings and do water ceremony with her. Something that she said a lot when talking about the water is how a lot of us stopped talking to the water and we forgot that the water has a spirit. You know, water is life. And we mean that on so many levels. The water has a spirit. And that spirit is watching and listening, and it feels everything we do. And I wonder when the last time most of us spoke to the water. Like, think about it. When was the last time you spoke to the water? The last time you thanked the water for giving you life? The last time you thanked the water for hydrating you, for cleansing you, for giving you food to eat? You know, most of us are born from our mother's womb or our parents' womb. And that womb is filled with water. So we are literally born from the water. Our bodies are made mostly of water. We need water to survive. It's I don't know what to say. Water is life. And so I want to remind people to thank the water, you know, to thank it every time you pour a glass of water to drink. Even this bottled water. I mean, I feel really fucking shitty because I know it's stolen water that is bottled in plastic and manufactured and sold right back to us. But it's still sacred. I'm still going to thank it when I drink it. And so I want to remind you guys to do that, to speak to the water. Like, when you go and shower, thank the water for cleansing you and for cleansing your skin. Even if you're not spiritual, I mean, it doesn't hurt to practice gratitude. Thank it. Thank the river. Thank the rain. We get a lot of rain here. Maybe not this year. It's kind of scary. But usually we get a lot of rain. When it rains, thank the rain, because without the rain, we wouldn't have these beautiful forests. We wouldn't have these berries. We wouldn't have these rivers, these fish. Just remember, the water has a spirit. We're in a climate crisis, and the youth need you to take direct action now. Thanks.
Okay. They all pretty much said everything I was going to say. However, something that I have noticed recently is a lack of literacy in Indigenous American culture from everybody who is not Indigenous American. Y'all do not do your research, and you stand here in support, but I wonder, like, how many of you actually know what you're supporting here? And would you have known if we hadn't told you? So, obviously, I'm one person, and I am from, like, one area of, I'm from multiple tribes, but oh wait, I never introduced myself. I'm not going to bother with that right now. But I'm from the Howe Plateau area. I'm Warm Springs and Yakima. And so I cannot speak on everything. I can't speak on all of us. That's one of the first things that I think people forget when talking with us as Indigenous American people. We're not one tribe. In fact, there's thousands of us, thousands of different tribes, and there's only 500 or so that are federally recognized. And there are a lot of Indigenous people who are members of tribes that the U.S. government does not recognize, and they are just as valid. Thank you. Yes, and within all those cultures, we are all very different. A common thing, though, I think in a commonality between us all is respect, mutual respect, and we don't do shit if you can't respect us, or if you can't respect people. I think a big underlying issue with the missing and murdered Indigenous women, trans, and two-spirit people, along with other people, why it's such an issue is people have no respect for us. And unless you are actively doing the work every single day, you still will subconsciously see us as dirty little redskins. So you need to work on that at all times, because that's not what we are. We are way more than that. We are actually human. We are not subhuman. And I think, especially in Portland, you guys need to start treating us like that. Even the quote-unquote allies in Portland still treat us as less than oftentimes, I've noticed. And I don't know why the fuck y'all would be doing this on our land. Like, that's so disrespectful. And I'm tired of it. And it is awful that I'm, at 20, I have to tell you that I'm a human, right? And the reason I'm telling you, even though this is like an event that usually like leftist people attend and stuff, is because even leftist people, even the quote unquote most progressive group of people here, struggle to see us as real people. the other thing within that I've spoken about before, and it's part of like why water is life and stuff, but a lot of people don't realize, and then kind of microaggression-y about especially when talking to me, at least, I don't only know my experience, but people, a lot of indigenous American cultures, you know the circle of life from Lion King? That is a very similar way to how a lot of our cultures interpret the world. And we as humans, there is no subhuman. Even animals, plants, rocks, the water are all equal to us. And there is no such thing as a subhuman. There's no such thing as any of that. And so the land we're on, the trees that are giving us shade or giving us food or bark, the air that we're breathing in and the water that we drink all has a spirit, and it's all equal to our own spirit. Water is so important, and we couldn't get anywhere forward without water. I'm grateful that you guys showed up also, because it was the Standing Rock youth who called this an action for solidarity. And I appreciate you guys showing up to listen for youth. You know, we are the 7th or the 8th generation. We are the generation that our ancestors prayed for. And I don't know, sometimes it doesn't feel like it, because nobody gives us any amount of respect, really ever, honestly. So I'm glad that there's some now. Yeah, and I guess I really need you guys to do your research. I remember another speech I gave at the Red House, I asked how many people knew about the occupation of Alcatraz, and nobody knew about it. And this needs to be fixed. You guys need to research the occupation of Alcatraz. You need to research Leonard Peltier. You need to research the Dakota Access Pipeline. I was also, I could not go because I was also in and out of hospitals, and I was 16, and the only option for me to get there would be to hitchhike from here. And yeah, if I did that, I would have definitely gone missing. Because the statistics for Indigenous women going missing is 1 in 3 Indigenous women go missing. Yeah, 1 in 3, or are found murdered, like in pieces, with cuts and evidence of abuse. So I avoid hitchhiking, because that's just I'm not coming back from that. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck. Bro, I'm so sorry, guys.
People need to do better.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Okay. I have ADHD. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you need to do this research. Also, you need to research the tribes and our traditions. From when you're here, what we did a round dance. It's like a greeting dance. Traditionally, when there's no COVID, we shake hands with everybody when we're doing that dance, and usually it splits in half, so people are going the opposite way, so you shake everybody's hand, because you say hello to everybody, because everybody is worth saying hello to. That is a part of the culture of this area. I do not know how many other areas the culture's of, but it's very common at powwows, if you've ever been to one, and it is also common at wash-it ceremonies, which is one of the religions of this area, which you would know if you had researched it, because it's pretty easy to find. Actually, just kidding, it's really hard to find, but you need to do that work anyways. Yeah, so please do the work, and then please, like the previous speaker said, we need to do direct action. In Portland, water is very affected by the dams on the rivers. There are multiple dams on the Columbia River. There are dams, I know for a fact, on the Klamath River. And those need to come down. Those need to not exist anymore. That's a really big direct action, and I understand it needs planning, but that needs to happen, and y'all need to support that, because the salmon are dying, our rivers are being polluted, and you can't drink out of them, and you can't catch salmon. We've been catching salmon on the Columbia River for over 10,000 years. But the US government in the 1950s were like, no, you're never gonna do that again, because we're gonna put up this dam and we're gonna completely ruin this ancient trading ground that has been there and had been occupied for over 10,000 years. So, yeah, sorry, this is not my best speech ever at all. This is pretty bad, but thanks for listening. Water is life. It's so bad.
No, it's terrible. Sorry, I'm gonna steal this really fast. All right.
Aloha mai. I'm gonna keep this really quick. So the people from the Dakota pipeline stood in solidarity with the Native Hawaiians during Mauna Kea, which is still happening. If you haven't heard of that, something to also research too. Find that a lot of our struggles are separate but interconnected, and all fall into how today's society has constructed us to be comfortable with everything that we see here. So something like seeing clear water coming out of our faucets makes it easy to forget that other people do not get that. Other people do not get the privilege of having clean water to give to their children, to give to their crops, to have a sustainable way of life. So, since people have shared their beautiful culture, which I need to do my research as someone who is an Indigenous person, I also need to do my research. And a lot of these things that we're doing is going to be really difficult and really hard, but having the time and space to listen to each other is going to be part of those steps that we need to take to move forward. And growth doesn't come easy. Change never came from comfort. So I hope that we can all take some of what we heard from tonight from these great speakers, opening their hearts and tearing open some of these traumas, which doesn't close when they go home. They go home with these wounds open, and even more open than they were to share with you folks. So I want to share something that King Kamehameha would say to his warriors, because as we move forward, we are warriors. People, everyone here, we're all fighting the same battle, and we're going to have to fight this battle together. So this is something that King Kamehameha said to his warriors before battle. It translates to, "Forward, my young brothers, and drink of the bitter waters. There is no turning back. Imua ina poki ki inu kavai ava ava. Ahoi ho'ope ma'iai." So I'm going to ask for some participation here, if people do not mind, because I do want us to go home and move forward from there on tomorrow and every day and breath we take after that, because change comes from you, and you can be the change that you want to see. And water is something that every decision we make with our consumerism will impact that. Every straw you ask for, every disposable cup you get, every piece of paper, all of that takes water. Almond milk, fuck almond milk. That shit takes so much water. So let's be conscious of our consumerism and something like this. So I'm gonna say, "Imua ina po'oki'i," and I want people to say, "Ai, inu kivai ava ava." Yes, I will drink of the bitter water. Inu ikavai ava ava. Right. And remember, we're going into battle. Things are not going to stop after tonight, and they're not going to stop after tomorrow or even a month from now. This is going to be something long, and we're going to have to endure.
So let's put in some heart into this. It's gonna be I inu ikavai ava ava. Are we ready? Do we need another time? One more time? I'm hearing that one more time. I inu ikavai ava ava. Imoi napoki. You guys are wonderful. I appreciate the effort. You guys make my heart so full. All right. Thank you all. And I hope we have a wonderful night. Take care.
I thought they were gonna do a mic drop for a second.
Okay, we're gonna have a closing song, and then we're all just kind of gonna disperse from here. There's lots of cars here, so what I ask is that everyone kind of help each other get back to their cars. We can shuttle if we need to once I get back to my car. So if you need a ride, just kind of hang out or make sure to offer if you have a car here as well. So thank you guys.
Woo! I thought you were going to drop the mic at the end. Oh, like do a mic drop? I was like, yes. But that was great. I loved it. I loved it. Still more. Jackie, who said anything about that? Where did that come from? ᴑᴏᴡᴏᴜ! Water is life! ᴑᴏᴡᴏᴜ!
Water is life! Water is life! Water is life!
Black snake killers!
Y'all get home safely.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you for coming out tonight. ᴜᴏᴜᴍᴏ. We appreciate your being.
Have a good night, Jedi. It's good to see you again. You too, Ian.
Have a good night, Jedi. Alright. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Water is life. Don't forget that. Make sure you talk to your water next time you take a shower or take a little soapy. Yeah, we are out here. If you tuned in late, we are standing with Standing Rock Youth, who are for shutting down the Dakota Access Pipeline, demanding that Joe Biden make it illegal and drain the pipeline because it is on sacred land and it's contaminating the waterways. So that's why we're out here. Some cool dances, songs, and speeches. I hope you were here for it. And then there's this guy over here. He's pretty cool with his... Where did he go? Oh, yeah, behind that guy. I don't know where he came from, but I need to get me some glow sticks or whatever they are. This guy needs a ride to St. John's, apparently. Yeah, thank you for being here, Valerie. Have a great night, Denise. Thank you. If you don't know who I am because I'm covered up, I'm Carissa. Hey, Tom, thank you. Standing Rock Youth Council. Yes, check out Standing Rock Youth Council. Night Corey, night Rob, night D. Much love. Peace, love, donuts, as usual, to all. Speak with business owners. Yes, I've done that. You got it, BC Shelby. Came in late.
Hey folks, everybody that's out here, if you are walking home, this van right here is taking several people home. We will take everybody.
Bye, Cheryl.
How are we getting back to your car?
Love to Alaska. Finding a car.
Huh?
Finding a car. Night Rob, night Tom. Hola, hola, and adios. Blood sprawl. Thank you, Levi. Night Christina. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you follow so that you see next time I go live. You can find me. Catch me on Instagram and the Twitters, Facebook, all that stuff. Befriend me. Sorry, Jim Lester. Sorry that you don't like that. Or sorry that that has happened and that you don't love it. That sucks. Peace, love, and donuts to you, D. Night, Martin.